Hello everyone. Welcome to this Instagram Live. I hope it keeps me here because I noticed that it kicked me off the last time. So hopefully all is well. I want to talk about something today that has me particularly, I don't want to say fired up in a way, but very passionate about this topic, about this conversation, about this conspiracy theorist word. And this is almost a rebuttal to a couple things I've read online recently from other leaders. And I'm not going to name names, but I'm just going to share kind of my perspective on something that I'm seeing really almost disconnect people from themselves, make them question themselves, and really making people feel in this sense of kind of defeated and kind of frustrated of well, wait a second, and not knowing where they fit. So hello, just hopping on. Feel free to say hello if you are hopping on live. I would love to chat with you. Obviously, I'll be here probably 222. Oh, hell yeah, it's 222. Here where I am in Tennessee, it's Lionsgate Portal, so we've got lots of beautiful cosmic alignment happening today, a lot of powerful energy, a lot of light code activations, ascension codes coming in, awakening. There's so much beautiful energy. All you have to do is open yourself to receive it. You don't have to do anything special. I shared a little bit about it in my Instagram stories. Just receive it. You are a divine sovereign being. You are connected to the divine. You are connected to the cosmos. You are connected. We're all connected. So you just have to open yourself to receive this this energy and these codes coming in. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Okay, so I want to talk about the term conspiracy theorist. I got this message from a past client of mine, and she had sent me this post that I'm going to read you guys a little bit of someone basically saying, let's talk about conspiracy theories, and basically ripping anyone who believes in, researches, thinks about, unpacks in terms of what's considered a conspiracy theory, blowing them wide open and talking so much shit about how it's all rooted in fear and it's all rooted in groupthink. And as someone who has changed my tune on quote unquote conspiracy theories over the years, I mean, you guys might have remembered even 6 months ago, I actually did a live about how I think conspiracy theories are distracting us. I was very much not really into them, kind of when coronavirus all started. And I had to tune a lot of it out because it was too much for my nervous system. It was too much for my body. It was too much for my energy. And I shut it down. I didn't even want to go there. And as someone who has opened my eyes and opened my mind to different viewpoints, to really starting to research things for myself outside of Instagram, outside of what my parents believe, outside of religion, outside of even the spiritual community, outside of other leaders, I've really developed my own self. Oh, hello, Kat. Hello, and Lex is here. Hi, guys. And if you want to say your name, if you want to hop on lives with me more often, I would love to know who you are, because sometimes by your handle, I can't tell what your name is, and then I feel dumb because I want to greet you by name. Hello. Okay, so outside of these different group things, outside of these different leaders, outside of these different ideals, I really think it's so important to be able to learn how to discern for ourselves, how to think for ourselves, how to know our own energy, know our own cues, know our own wisdom, and decide and discern from there, what the truth is, right? And so the reason that I'm sharing this is because this past client of mine had reached out to me, and she basically shared this post and she said, hey, what are your thoughts on this? It makes me feel like my opinions or what I see as the truth is based in fear, and I'm wrong for thinking that way. I'm so curious, are all those who consider themselves conspiracy theorists fearful? And so I'm going to chat about this here. So I'm going to read you guys a little bit of the post. Just a little bit of it. I'm not going to go all the way into it because there's a lot of different slides. But I want to debunk basically this entire post that this person wrote, and share with you why conspiracy theorists to me can actually be a really beautiful thing, can actually be really inviting you into critically thinking, into opening your eyes, into practicing discernment. So I've got a couple notes here to walk you through after this, but I'm going to start by reading this post. Hey, guys. Oh, hello, Courtney. So good. Kayla, hello, guys. Okay, so what they basically said, what is a conspiracy theory? Well, definition-wise, dictionary.com describes it as a theory that rejects the standard explanation for an event and instead credits a covert group or organization with carrying out a secret plot. Okay? First and foremost, I would like to know who owns dictionary.com. Who are they run by? Who are they funded by? You can Google anything, and 9 times out of 10, it's bought by someone. It's kind of whoever has the most money is what's going to show up. So I think to immediately discredit a conspiracy theory by saying that it is a rejection of a standard explanation and it credits a covert group with carrying out a secret plot, like, to me, I'm kind of like, okay, who defined it? You know, you can define conspiracy theory as whatever the fuck you want. To me, I see conspiracy theory, the way I view it, the way that I practice it is, conspiracy theory to me is thinking outside the fucking mainstream thought process. Anything that challenges the mainstream narrative. Anything that challenges what a certain group or what a certain person or certain leader or certain teacher says and saying, I don't even like the word conspiracy about it. It's more like a theory. Like, I am feeling in my body something is off here, and I have a theory, I have an idea that actually there's something more than I'm getting. Like, this isn't the whole story. So, for example, with, COVID, and I don't want to get shut down on Instagram, so I have to be really careful of what I say on here as far as, like, my thought processes go. The idea of COVID, like, yes, it's a real virus. That the virus itself, no one believes is a conspiracy theory. If you actually look at the reality of it and you actually look at what these conspiracy theorists are saying, it's a real virus. The narrative we're being sold about it, the fear mongering of it, the contradicting, inconsistent as hell information we're being sold about it is not true. That is the part that, because it goes against the mainstream. To be a group thinker, to be actually rooted in fear is for me to cling on to the idea, the narrative that the far radical left or, the media or these bot people are preaching to me. That to me is like, okay, now I'm going into groupthink. Now I'm hooked into the fear matrix, where when I zoom out and I think for myself, and some people would call me a conspiracy theorist, I'm willing to look at all the different pieces. Okay, so here's what the media tells me, and I put that on my plate, right? It's like a buffet. Here's what the media tells me. Here's what this person says. Here's what this says. Here's what this says. Here's what this says. Okay, let me go in now and do my own research, think critically, feel into the discernment in my own body, really come back into, like, blowing wide open my third eye and saying, what is here that is not necessarily like black and white, that is not necessarily like what I'm being told. So call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but to me, that is actually a really beautiful thing, and I'm proud to be it. And, Ali Zek even wrote, she said, let's see, what's in it for conspiracy theorists to seek truth and speak out about it? Degradation, smears from people who make fun of them. What is actually in it for the people and entities that they're trying to speak out against? How about protecting pedophilia and billion-dollar industries? Maybe, right? So me going against the mainstream is not the easier groupthink way. It actually, I've lost clients. I have lost friends. I have been, blocked. I have been ridiculed. I have been ripped apart. I have been, like, people assuming nasty things about me and my character when they don't even fucking know me. Like, what is actually in it, you guys, for me to think against the mainstream and to share and speak massive truth and drop major truth bombs, even if one day I have to eat my shit and something's not true? Okay, I'm willing to do so. I've eaten my shit many times before, as far as, like, said one thing and the truth evolves and information comes out, something shifts. Like, I voted for Obama and he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. So I had to eat my shit. I had to answer for that. I'm not, it takes many ego deaths to be a conspiracy theorist, because you're literally going with intuition and with, like, different puzzle pieces and trying to put something together, and you might have to one day be like, oh shit, I was wrong. Like, when I used to talk shit about conspiracy theorists, I fully believe now I was wrong. But at the time, that's what I had the capacity for. That's what I was ready for. So it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make me a bad person. It just means I out-evolved that belief system, that capacity. I out-evolved that thinking process, the group think, and I started to wake up and think for myself. And remember, I am a divine sovereign being. Each and every single one of us is. What am I actually feeling as truth in my body? Because what CNN and Fox News and all these bullshit things are telling me, they're not actually resonating. None of this actually feels like it feels like when I tune into my own information, I tune into my own channels spiritually, energetically, there's something more here that I'm not being told. Right? And you've probably felt that in your body. All of our intuitions and all of our channels speak to us differently, but you've felt that before where it's like, fuck, like something's not right, especially as women. In our womb space, we hold such a powerful intuition, this innate DNA wisdom that we've carried for, whether you believe lifetimes or generations or whatever it might be. We have this like secret code that we can't put on paper. It doesn't necessarily, and my nails are atrocious. Please excuse me. We'll take care of that later today. Holy moly. I just got a glimpse of those. Whew. And it's this, it doesn't rationally make sense. I can't necessarily always explain it, but something in me fucking knows, right? And it's right every single time. And again, there's times where I've had to eat my shit. There's times where, I have to be like, oh shit, like I was wrong. And I have to have an ego death, get out of my fucking ego about it, come back into my body about it, into my soul and say, I believed that at the time. And I can have grace and compassion for that version of me, but I know better now. So I can believe better now, right? Oh, hello, Samantha. Yes, needed this. Good. Courtney says, my fiance does research on everything, and I love that about him because it makes me look at different sides. Exactly. I'm sorry, but if we are going off of what our grandparents say based on them watching CNN or Fox News every day for their entire lives, we're getting one narrative. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want, but for me to actually pull out of that and say, okay, what is CNN saying? What is Fox News saying? What is this person saying? What is this website saying, right? And like digging deeper and taking all these different perspectives and all these different ideas, laying them all out and thinking critically for myself, where is that wrong? So I'm going to keep reading this post because this is what we're debunking today. So, she says, why do people believe in conspiracy theories? This is her words, not mine. So watch me watch this. That means it's not me talking, okay? Because this is so much bullshit, I can't even handle it. Researchers have found that reasons for believing in conspiracy theories can be grouped into 3 categories. The desire for understanding and certainty, the desire for control and security, the desire to maintain a positive self-image. It's also important to remember that conspiracy theories are fueled by people, not facts. Like, sweet baby Jesus, here we go. I can see where this is coming from. Hello, Amanda. Yay. Thank you. So I can see where this is coming from. I do think that there are people, when we are in a trauma response, when we are in, like, I need to belong somewhere, I need to be validated, I need to be accepted, there are people that can buy into certain, group thinks, whether it's far radical left or conspiracy theorists or the far right or whatever it might be, and we just go with it because we want to maintain the positive self-image. We want that control and security. We want to feel accepted. We want to feel understood. We as humans, our brains naturally want to make sense of things. We want answers. So yes, absolutely. There are times where people are acting from a trauma response. They're not grounded. They're not in their own energy. They're not in their own sovereignty. And they are hooking into something just to feel like they belong somewhere, just to make sense of things, okay? That happens. But to demonize an entire group of people, of conspiracy theorists, as being one of these things is extremely, extremely, extremely belittling, shaming, and naive. And it's not okay, right? I consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I don't do it to maintain a positive self-image. In fact, I get more shit being a conspiracy theorist than I would if I just fucking subscribe to what everyone on social media is saying. Really and truly. I don't do it for control and security, because really conspiracy theories don't give me any sort of control or security. In all honesty, it's me continuing to have to come back to myself and to discern and to really be able to navigate, like, holy shit, like, what's going on in our country and our world right now, you guys. There's so many layers to it. There's so many, like, I don't even know what to share with you guys every day when I do like my little morning news updates, because there's so many ways I could go about it. So what kind of security does that give me? It doesn't. It literally doesn't. What it does for me is it helps me, again, unhook from the matrix, unhook from everything I'm trying to be sold by a certain group think right now, and to start thinking for myself. In fact, going into conspiracy theories, knowing when I have the capacity for it, because now I don't always have it, right? And I don't want you to just go consume it all, because that can be really dangerous. That can overrun your nervous system. It can cause you to burn out. It can hook you right into the fear. This is why I created Wide Awake, my group program that starts on Monday, because I'm teaching you how to increase your capacity to be able to look at all of this without completely crumbling beneath it and spinning out on it. But in order to, like, it's connected me, these things, back to my sovereignty, back to me saying I am an individual within a collective, and I think for my motherfucking self. And there have been times where, like, again, you evolve, so things I've thought in the past might absolutely, like, bring me back into, like, okay, again, I got to eat my shit. I voted for this person, or I believed this, and it turned out to not be true. And I can honor that. I have compassion for that version of myself. But here's who I am now, and here's what I'm feeling. Oh my God, I love that you guys are loving this. Yeah, what should we believe? There's so much shit being thrown at us. So Courtney, with that, it really comes back to, this is where you have to sharpen your own discernment. Because there are things like, for example, like if we want to look at like QAnon, my foot is asleep. I think this is a pregnancy thing. My feet fall asleep and my hips fall asleep all the fucking time. I don't know what's happening. This is, though, what we have to come back to in what's your own discernment saying. Because there's certain things that Q will say that I'm like, I can't fully get on board with that, or like, that's really far down there. But there's other things that in my body, in my resonance, I'm like, ooh, that hit home. Oh my God, that feels like, wow, that is so real. That is so possible. And being able to kind of balance, here's what I'm consuming, and now put it through my own filtering system, and here's what's resonating as truth in my body, right? And if you want to work more on that, definitely join us in Wide Awake. Amanda said, if I wanted a sense of control, I'd follow the mainstream and accuse everyone else. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm taking conspiracy theorists as a compliment now. Exactly. I literally, I'm like, thank you. But here, Kayla, what I'm saying is, like, let me read you more of this post, because I'm debunking this person's post that someone wrote on the post, like, who runs this account, the CIA? Because if we want to look at where conspiracy theorist, the term, came from, there's a conspiracy theory. There's an idea that it actually came from the CIA back in the 60s or so. And the CIA, which, if you don't look into this, I am so scared of what I can say on here to get shut. I can't wait for Wide Awake, because we're going to talk more about this, like, on Zoom, so I can say much more than I can on social media. Look into the corruption within the CIA, within the government, within all of these different things, within all, like, please look at it. Like, just start to do your research. Don't look on Google. You're not going to find shit. If you need resources, message me. I've got a whole Google Doc. I'm happy to continue sharing things with you. But the idea that conspiracy theorists even came around was because anyone who questioned what the CIA was selling us or what the media was selling us, they were immediately shut down and called crazy. They're a conspiracy theorist. That's not real. There's no facts to back that up. Make them crazy and get the fuck out of here, right? Like, do we all remember back in the day when Mel Gibson was made to look insane for talking about the satanic rituals and the pedophilia and the sex trafficking within Hollywood? They shut him down. I thought he was crazy. I was like, oh, poor Mel. He was such a good guy, right? And now I'm like, oh my God, anyone who is considered a conspiracy theorist, who's called crazy, who's shut down, who's, killed mysteriously, who randomly has, whatever, I look deeper. When there's a fact check that pops up on social media, I want to know why. I'm like, tell me what's behind that, because the truth is typically, not always, but typically, behind that. You have to start piecing all of these pieces together. I'm obviously getting very fired up about this. So she talks about how conspiracy theories are false beliefs, and people who believe in them have a vested interest in maintaining them. Uncertainty is an unpleasant state, and conspiracy theories provide a sense of understanding and certainty that is comforting. Like, please roll my eyes a little harder. It can give people a sense of control and security, which helps people when they feel threatened. Again, I'm with Amanda. If I wanted to feel any sort of control or safety, I would just believe the mainstream, because then I could just like lollygag around my life and go back, like everything's fine. The government has my best interest at heart. It's okay, right? Like, please, this person has never looked at a conspiracy theory a day in their life. Research shows that people who feel socially marginalized are more likely to believe in conspiracy theories. It gives people a sense that they are the holder of privileged knowledge. I don't feel privileged for knowing conspiracies. In fact, I know I hold a lot of privilege as being a straight white woman in America. And we're not going to go down that rabbit hole today because there's so much more I can unpack there, and I'm not going to. But the idea that I have privileged knowledge by doing conspiracy theories, no, I'm sorry. It's hours and hours and hours of research, of filtering, of emptying myself out completely so that I can, really find my own discernment, find my own voice, find my own truth in it. Burdened is more like it, exactly. It's like burdened knowledge. Like, fuck. There's days where I'm like, could I just go back to sleep? Can I just put my head back in the sand? Life was dandy, right? Being awake to things that are going on behind what we're being sold is so, like, it's a lot. And it challenges every area of your life. Like I said, I have lost paying clients. Paying clients have been like, I don't trust you anymore. I'm scared of you. I don't want to be here anymore because I am willing to speak against the mainstream. And I've let them go. I don't judge them for that. They're honoring their capacity. I honor that. But like, what am I gaining by having this quote unquote privileged knowledge? Nothing, right? Nothing. I lose followers every single day. I've lost friends. I've literally I've had to even like stop working with certain mentors because I'm like, there's something that's off here. We're not hearing each other. We're not clicking, right? And not that everyone has to believe me. Not everyone has to agree with me. Really and truly, they don't. I really don't mind. I really don't care. I actually believe in everyone thinking for themselves. And so if someone's like, I actually don't agree with you, I'm like, cool, by all means. I honor you. I respect you. You do you. But yeah, I'm not gaining popularity or privilege by knowing these things at all. So she goes on to say, she talks about these different things, these different conspiracies, and like is doing the whole eye roll through it of like, yes, seriously, they believe that. And it says conspiracy is complex and its successful completion demands a large number of elements. It involves large numbers of people who would all need to keep silent about their secrets. The more people involved, the less realistic it becomes. Like, I'm sorry, what? Encompasses a grand ambition for control over a nation, economy, or political system. It assigns sinister meanings to what are most likely innocuous, insignificant events, refuses to consider alternative explanations, rejecting all disconfirming evidence, and blatantly seeking only confirmatory evidence to support what they've previously determined to be the truth. I'm going to say, as someone who was mainstream thinker for most of my life, for almost 3 decades, to then becoming a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist, if you would like to label me, which that's your shit, not mine, because I don't label myself. But I would actually say the conversations I have with people who are with the mainstream, not everyone, okay? Again, be careful of generalizing, because I have a post written that I need to choose someone out a little bit for some over-generalizations. So I'm not going to do that. But a lot of the conversations I've had with people who are not awake to these things, and again, that's their prerogative. I'm like, how do I say this? They are the ones that are only looking for confirming evidence, typically, okay? Like I said, I can be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. In fact, like a lot of the stuff that I believe to be very true about what's going on right now, I pray to God is wrong, right? Because it's awful and it's evil and it is dark and it is going to, when it comes out and as people wake up to it, it is people are going to mother effing lose it. They really are. Like, this is why I'm saying all the time, please prepare your nervous system. Please prepare yourself energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically. Like, surround yourself with support, because the things that we've believed and been programmed and conditioned and brainwashed to believe our entire lives, I'm telling you, like, it's a big pill to swallow, and it's hard, and it doesn't go down easy. It's like straight up swallowing this dry, big ass pill, and it's like scratching and it's choking you, and you're throwing up, and it's like this whole thing. Like, it's intense. It really is intense. So when people don't want to believe these things or don't even want to see it, most of the time it's like, it's not that they don't necessarily believe it, because again, I don't care if you believe it or not, they don't even want to see it. And when I give them a challenging argument or a challenge back, and I'm like, well, actually, boom, they're like, la, 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 I don't hear you, I don't want to, no, that's not about this, it's not about that, and they like bring it back to like what they were saying. And I'm like, but this is just another perspective. This is just another viewpoint. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying if I'm going to listen to your lens, I'm asking you to listen to the lens of which I'm seeing it through. Can we do that? Because in true human form, we only can see through our own lens unless we open ourselves up to XYZ, right? Unless I open myself up to, and I'm going to get to your guys' comments in just a second, so keep them coming. But it's the only way we get other perspectives is by plugging ourselves into places that don't think all the same things. It's why I'm not a part of like a bajillion Facebook groups that are all about conspiracy theories. I have mentors who don't believe in conspiracy theories. Like I have friends where we can have challenging conversations and we're kind of on opposite sides if you want to talk about sides. Like I do that because that's how I grow and how I expand and how I learn. If I'm only seeing it through my lens, I am pigeonholing myself. Of course, I'm only going to find confirmation bias, right? So this post, and then when my client said, like, my past client was like, I feel like now considering myself a conspiracy theorist, like I'm based in fear and I'm wrong for thinking that way. My thought to that, my first reaction was, fuck that. Fuck what someone wants to define it as and try to tell you who you are about it. You know who you are. You know the intention in your body, the energy in your body of why you're believing something, of why you're buying into something, of why you're exploring something, really and truly. So it really like, no one can tell you that. No one can give you that. You are a divine sovereign being. If you want to look into something, look into something. If you don't. If you want to open yourself up, do so, but know your nervous system, know your capacity, know your body's signals when it's too much and you need to come back into your own energy. Like there's a lot. So be careful, right? Be mindful. There are truths to some of what she's saying as far as certain people can go about it that way. So be careful not to cling to something from a trauma response, from like, oh, I just need someone to validate me. I just need to fit in somewhere. I just need to belong somewhere. Someone give me control. Someone give me security. No one can give you that. You find that within yourself. You don't find that in a religion. You don't find that in a spiritual community. You don't find that in a freaking conspiracy theorist community. You find it within yourself. So for me, I witness a lot of people do this too. And when I was part of like an organized religion, for example, there was this idea of a savior. There's someone that's going to come in and save me. And a lot of people, not everyone, because again, we're not generalizing, but a lot of people that do follow like QAnons, or other groups or other, mainstream thinking or whatever it might be, they can do so from this place of like, Q is going to save us, or the media, the government's going to save me, or Jesus is going to save me. No one's going to save you. You're going to save yourself. You have the answers within yourself. You have the power, the truth, the safety, the capacity to save yourself. So that's old programming. And Pilar and I, my friend, talked about this on a podcast that will be out Monday or Tuesday. So make sure to listen to that if that's resonating with you. And we're definitely going to unpack this more in Wide Awake for sure. So if any of this is hitting home, please message me. We start on Monday. But no one's going to save you. No one. And I don't say that in a way to hook you into fear or to make you feel like you're drowning or whatever, but that's a trauma response. It's a trauma bond. It's why typically, like, I watch a lot of this happening right now. A lot of people, and again, not everyone. So I'm not trying to, this is just what I'm witnessing from my own viewpoint, from what I'm seeing happen, what I've done myself. Having this like person that gets to like make everything better sounds amazing, but that's typically a trauma bond situation. When you heal that trauma, you realize, holy shit, I'm safe inside myself. I'm okay. Then you can go into these different groups, these different thinks, these different narratives, and you can discern from a safe place, from a grounded space, from a sovereign space, what is actually true here, right? So be mindful when you're looking into conspiracy theories too. Like, please don't get consumed by it. Please don't go just like mindlessly scroll. You're going to blow yourself wide open. And it can be really, really dangerous. So practice discernment, practice energetic sovereignty. You can get hijacked by anything. You can get hijacked by even things that you typically like would agree with, or a group you've been a part of, and you can get hijacked by it. And then all of a sudden, again, you're not in control. You're not in your own power. You're giving your power to someone else. I look at things like this. Like, I will research and I will look at and I will like pick all of these different pieces, and then I discern from there what's true. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. This is not black and white. This is not right and wrong. This is not I'm all in or I'm all out. There's a gray area, right? So really getting to be comfortable and create safety in that unknown, in that gray area, is really, really important. And then think critically when you're consuming anything from anyone, the media, Q, a leader, a coach, a mentor, Jesus himself, right? Some spiritual leader. Think critically. Think for yourself, please. It's so easy, especially when we're coming from trauma and survival and fear, which a lot of what's happening in the media right now is trying to instill fear in us, because then we're controllable, because we'll literally like get hijacked and we get kind of pulled into something. So just pause, breathe, learn how to ride these waves. These waves are crashing, and they are going to continue to crash for a while. We're in a lot of big shit right now, okay? And please prepare yourself. Please prepare yourself. But this idea that conspiracy theorists are fear-based and all this shit, roll my eyes so freaking hard it hurts and it gives me a migraine. It's literally, when people say things like that, it's their own shit. I don't judge it. But it's making people, anytime someone says things like that, it's shutting you down, it's making you feel crazy, and typically to me there's something more there. So I'm saying this, I'm doing this live to hopefully help you remember your power and your own capacity and your willingness and your ability to be able to show up for yourself, to think for yourself, to open your eyes, blow that third eye open, but protect your crown chakra, like Kayla said. Yes, like, do your clearing and your protection practices. Ground yourself, ground yourself, ground yourself. And then we're going to navigate these waves. Okay? But for you to think differently and then to have someone shame you for that, we're better than that. Okay? Like, she can have her opinions, or he or they or whoever. I don't know who that is. They can have their opinions. I've got mine. Here's the thing. Someone asked me, how do I handle like losing clients, losing friends, losing followers every single day? I know who I am. I know my truth. I know that I am the only one that I have to go to. Well, I go to bed with my husband most nights, but when he's gone, I'm the only one that I have to answer to at the end of the day. So when people leave me, or they want to make judgments, or they want to cast perceptions, or they want to, degrade me on social media or smear my name, the human side of me is hurt. Yeah, there's times I cry. Like, I had this happen a couple months ago with this woman that completely twisted something in her own lens, and that's what we do, and I have the capacity to see that. But I cried for like 48 hours. I was so sad. I was like, my heart, like, this kills me. And so I let myself have the human experience, and then I came back into, I can unhook from this knowing her perception is her own. She's having her own experience of me, and I can't control that, right? And I know what happened on my end. I know my own experience. I know my own perception. I know my truth. I knew my intention in that conversation I had with her. She wanted to twist it a certain way to fit her own narrative, and I honor that. It's not actually about me, right? So having this awareness of continually, like I'm always unhooking, like literally that's what I do all the time. Unhook, 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 come back into myself. And I handle it because I have many ego deaths, many ego deaths all the time. And I know that I'm the only one that, like, do I feel okay in my own skin? Do I feel okay in my own energy? Do I feel like I'm in my truth? Like I'm in my own expression? Like I'm coming from a heart-based space? And if I am, then that's all I can do. I can't control other people. And it kills me, but I know the role that I play, and that's truth-telling and trailblazing and like being willing to go forward and say the things that are going to piss a lot of people off, but I feel it in my body so much to be true, and I can't not share that. Like Liz Crokin says, like, we are the news now. I wouldn't know half of what I know now if someone wasn't willing to fucking stand up and say, I'm willing to put my life on the line and get the bullets literally shot at me to wake people up. And if I wouldn't have seen people doing that, I wouldn't have researched further. I would have just kept going with the group think. So for me, it's like, to me, it's a responsibility as a leader. And not everyone has that same role, and that's okay. You can be a leader in so many other ways. So listen to that podcast of the different roles within this awakening if you haven't listened to it yet. But stop letting people shame you and belittle you and generalize you and put you into this group that fits their own confirmation bias. Again, I pray that I'm wrong about some of the things that I believe so deep to be true, because fuck, man, like, they're heavy. They really, really are. And so I'm going to talk more about this. I have a post that I'm going to put up, or maybe some stories or something. But let me go back through and read these comments. And again, if any of this is resonating with you, please join us in Wide Awake. We have a call actually at 4 o'clock today to work with some Lionsgate energy, but it's a bonus call. So our actual like trainings and classes and group support calls and everything starts on Monday. So let me know if you need more information about that. Okay, let me tell my husband too. Babe, I'll be down in a second. He's back with lunch. Okay. Oh, there's so many. This is so good. Oh my God, I love it. Kayla's got her popcorn. Yes. Okay. CIA is very involved in Hollywood. Yeah. Ooh. Ever heard of a media company? Every head of a media company was or is a high-ranking CIA officer. What? That's wild. That's crazy. I'm laughing out loud. Yeah. Oh my God, I love this. Being ignorant is definitely easier than conspiracy. 100%. Nicole, did that answer your question of how I handle it? People questioning your truth or beliefs. It's so hard. It is so hard. So first and foremost, honor that. Validate that. This is really fucking hard. It is. There's a natural part of us that, again, wants to fit in. We, as the feminine, in our feminine essence, like, one of our biggest fears is being rejected. Like, at our core, it's one of our core wounds is being rejected. So it stings and it hurts. But the more and more and more that we come back into ourselves, we heal that. And we continue to see like, wow, but there's so many people who do support me, right? And I support myself and all of these different pieces. And wow, it feels good to speak my truth. We're able to move through that. Because my other question is for myself, when I wasn't speaking up about these things because I was terrified to go against the group think, my biggest thing was, what is this costing me? And it was costing me my peace. It was costing me my relationships. It was costing me, I lost sleep. I felt like there was like this voice inside of me that wanted to break free and just be expressed, but I was dimming her down because I was afraid. Like, it was costing me more than like, oh, I might lose some clients. I might lose some friends. People might make some judgments about me, but I would rather speak my truth than hide it because I was missing out on so much. And I can tell you, being fully liberated and getting to just say what the fuck I'm thinking has really created so much space for me. And it's actually brought me people that do want to learn more, And so, I don't know, it's all worked out, but it is really hard. It is. I've been unfollowing so many people who are just regurgitating mainstream. Yeah, protect your energy, right? It's like, you know what? I don't have to. I get to decide who I follow, who I consume, what I look at, and you don't have to do anything that doesn't feel good, really. Yes, bless her heart if she really truly believes her words. I know. I send her love, or him, or they, or whoever. That's what I'm worried about. Even when the proof comes out, people still won't see it. They won't. So again, this is where we have to unhook from this saviorism complex that we have of like, I need to convince everyone of what's really going on. Like, trust me, I wish sometimes, I'm like, I just wish they would see it, but they might not. There's going to be a lot of cognitive dissonance. There's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of mental health things that come up. There will be people who, unfortunately, have to leave this planet because they can't take it, and they're like literally going to burst, and their nervous system can't handle it. That's why I'm continuing to remind people to prepare themselves to hold spaces and create programs where people can be supported in that, because I want to see people process this and approach this safely if I can help them. But at the same time, I can't caretake them. I can't rescue them. That's typically an old programming of codependency, imposed saviorism, even this idea, even sometimes grandiosity of like, I know more and I need to rescue them and help them learn more. But like, no, like, they're exactly where they need to be. I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm open to support those who are ready to see, those who are ready to be a part of this, and those who are not. It's no judgment. There's not one that's right or wrong or good or bad. Like, this isn't a hierarchy. This is just, that's where they are. Cool. And I can unhook from that. That's their experience. That's where they're at, right? Exactly. I don't want to be right about the scary shit. I told my husband I was afraid of what might happen. Yeah, if the election in November, people are going to go crazy. He said the exact definition of terrorism. Interesting. Oh, I would like to hear more about that. If you're afraid to vote for who you agree with out of fear on the other side. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Oh my God, that's very, very true. Yep. That's why, like, again, that's why I share, because I feel like me sharing things from what I've gotten in my messages, yes, sure, there's a lot of hate as well, but not very, it's more support than hate. But people who are too terrified to say it. And hearing that I said it, it like gave them this like, oh, thank God, like permission, validation. Not that they needed that. They don't. I don't like hold some kind of magic wand that's like, and you get to have permission, and you get to have permission. Again, I don't operate that way. I believe you are sovereign. I believe I am sovereign. But for me, like we have a natural human tendency to want some sort of like, oh, thank God I'm not alone. Whew. Because this shit can be isolating, right? Being a conspiracy theorist can be very isolating. I have fewer people in the coaching and wellness circle as I'm in who share my views and theories. Yeah. Yep. Same. That's why I'm so glad we connected. Desperation and dogmatic tend to go together. Interesting. That's very true. Yep. Yes. Just curious about your viewpoint. Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Cool. I think I got to all the questions and all the comments. Thank you guys for like being so engaged. This was awesome. Be yourself. Makes me want to sing like be yourself from Just Friends. Did anyone watch that movie? But that's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. So basically I wanted to debunk that post. Can we stop with the shaming and the belittling and the overgeneralization of like, oh, you believe in conspiracy theories? Like, oh, poor you. Like, I'm fine. In fact, like, we good. I chose this in my power from a really grounded space to like look into this. And I just encourage everyone, whether you believe in it or not or whatever, just look deeper. Literally lift the veil. What's underneath? If something says fact check, see the post. Why are they fact checking it? How come that got fact checked in 2 seconds? Right? Like there's so many different pieces here. There's so like if not everyone has to wear a mask, and like if you're a government official you don't have to, but like everyone else does, but you don't have to if you're at like you're fine to gather if you're at a protest but not at church. Like these things of thinking critically. I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong. I'm just looking at, instead of just getting one story and one narrative, why not look at all the different pieces and then put the puzzle together, feel into my own body, feel into my own safety, into my own, discernment, feel into my own heart space. What's going on here? Yeah, what are they wanting to distract you from? We're 100% being distracted. And again, if you look at all the pieces, you'll start to see that. Not because I told you that, because I'm not a fucking cult leader, but because I'm asking the questions and I'm making you think for yourself. Like even most of the time, and I don't follow Q like religiously by any means. Again, I don't think he's our savior. I don't think he's going to rescue us from everything. Please, can we stop saying this is the end times? Jesus is just going to come down. He's going to save us from it all, because like it's a very disempowering belief. Like Jesus was actually very revolutionary, flipping tables and demanding change and fighting for what's right, being heard, saying the conspiracy theory. Like he would have been a conspiracy theorist, right? Yeah, just stop giving your power away to these different people that have these ideas and these perceptions and these, definitions, and stop giving your power away to people that are saying you're distracted if you're looking at this stuff. No, you're being distracted if you're just following the mainstream and you're like lollygagging on your way with your head in the sand being like, I'm going to make $5 million today. Like, cool. And like, there's more going on. Like, so we have to learn how to hold the both and. Because I'm not saying you can't earn $5 million. You absolutely can, because we live in a capitalist country. Depending on how the election goes, and if we go socialist, Jesus take the wheel, you can't earn $5 million. And if you do, you're not going to get to keep $5 million. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. But this is what I'm saying, is like holding the both and. Can I be aware of and open and think critically based on all the different pieces, and still experience abundance and joy and pleasure and delight and beauty and goodness and happiness in my life? Like, you get to have both. I don't just talk about conspiracy theories, in air quotes. I don't just talk about what's going on in the world. I don't just bombard you with the news and my Insta stories. My calling is both and. I share the real shit of what's going on, and I tap into something so much greater than me. I really do. And I share that, and I talk about sex, and I talk about sexuality, and I share about relationships, and I share about all these different, there's so many aspects to this. It doesn't have to be all in or all out. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist or you're not one. You can believe in some conspiracy theories but not believe in others. You can follow some of the mainstream narrative and you cannot follow other parts. You are a divine sovereign being, my friend. Think for yourself. Stop giving other people that power over you. Stop letting them control you and manipulate you and belittle you. Okay? That's what I have. As above, so below. We bring the new kingdom to earth. Co-creators. Yes. The both and. Both human and both divine. Amen. God, this is good. Thank you guys for co-creating this live with me. I love you. If you need support in this, please reach out to me. We start Wide Awake on Monday. If you're watching this after August 10th, it will be on Monday. Message me, get on the wait list for the next time I run it. Little Bub gets to decide when it's going to happen. I have no idea. We're going to figure it out. I just take it one day at a time, and I take the downloads that I receive and what feels good in my own heart's discernment, and I go forward from there. So I love you guys. Have the most amazing day. I'm going to go eat some lunch, and I will chat with you guys soon.